I'd like to start by sharing with you a letter. We received this from a teacher at a school which is about 20 minutes drive from downtown Auckland. It reads, "I'm a teacher at a primary school in Otara. This week I've given out your lunches to students in my class. They're pretty honest about why they don't have lunch. We don't have much food in the cupboards at the moment. My dad says if I have breakfast, I'll be okay until I get home. My dad doesn't get paid until Wednesday. I even have children who kept home from school because their parents have no lunch to send with them. It breaks my heart. Up until a few years ago, it wouldn't have even crossed my mind that this problem existed in New Zealand. I was living in my own privileged bubble, thinking that everyone in this small and beautiful country of ours had the same access to all the basic essentials, such as food. I was shocked to learn that we have a huge issue when it comes to the welfare of our children here. 28% of Kiwi kids, that's 300,000, live in poverty. And we estimate that at least 25,000 of them are going to school every day without food. Now, we all know that if you're hungry, you cannot learn. And without an education, what chance do these kids have of breaking the poverty cycle? But what was being done about it? Isn't it the government's job to fix these kinds of problems? Well, since the early 1980s, New Zealand's child poverty rate has actually doubled, and more kids are turning up to school hungry. I couldn't understand how we're letting this happen right here in our own backyard, and I wanted to do something about it. But what can one person do? I was just your typical working mum and living a pretty ordinary life. One night, I happened to be wearing a pair of Tom's shoes. Tom's is a company in the US that pioneered the one-for-one model. So for every pair of shoes someone buys, they donate a pair to a child in a developing country. And I thought, well, why can't we do this for lunch? I mean, we all eat lunch every day anyway. So the idea is simple. People go online and order to have a fresh, healthy lunch delivered to them at work. And for every lunch they buy, we give a lunch to a Kiwi kid in need. Buy one, give one. That same night I had the idea, I came up with the name Eat My Lunch, and the very next day I registered the company. Over the next few months, I would go to work during the day as a corporate marketer, and then come home and work on Eat My Lunch until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I had a business partner, and between the two of us, we tried to figure out how we were actually going to make this work. We weren't able to get a bank loan. In fact, the bank manager told us he thought it was a stupid idea, and there was no way we were ever going to make money by giving away free lunches. So despite having very little funds to get started, we managed to build a cheap website, develop a very impressive spreadsheet to manage our supply chain, and with a few trestle tables from Bunnings and a borrowed fridge, 7 months later, we launched Eat My Lunch from our home. Now, I had no idea if this was going to work or not. I had never worked in catering or even run my own business. But I decided that I didn't want to be left always wondering, what if? So we initially forecasted for the first year that we would sell 50 lunches a day, and if all went well, maybe up to 100 lunches a day. Well, in the first week, we did sell 50 lunches a day. By our second week, our orders had gone up to 200 lunches a day. In the third week, up to 400. By our 12th week, we had reached our 3-year forecast. Thanks. Two and a half years later, we've proven the bank manager wrong, and we've created a commercially sustainable business which now operates in Auckland, Wellington, and Hamilton. We raised $1 million in capital through crowdfunding, and we now employ 38 people. We recently launched Eat My Dinner, and we've started selling our products through supermarkets. But our most important measure of success is in the impact that we make. To date, we have given over 600,000 lunches to kids in 55 schools. We now feed 1,880 children every school day. That's 9,100 a week, 91,000 every school term. But we don't just fill these kids' tummies. They have to have the right kinds of foods to learn. So we have a philosophy that if it's food we won't give our own kids, it doesn't go into these lunches, even though they're given for free. So the kids receive a lunch that's made fresh every morning, packed full of veggies and protein, and they come in a plain brown paper bag to look like something that they could have bought from home themselves. Now, we all have good ideas, and most ideas aren't unique. In fact, once Eat My Lunch launched, I received numerous emails from people telling me that they had come up with the same idea years ago. But what good is an idea if you don't do anything with it? Those who decide to take the risk to stop talking about it and to actually have the courage to do something are the ones that will make a difference. And to make a difference, it takes more than just an idea and one person. What Eat My Lunch has enabled is an entire community to take action to help solve a social issue. Thousands of our customers, whether they're individuals or businesses, have had an immediate and tangible impact simply by choosing to buy our lunches. People also participate by volunteering. Every morning at 6:30, we have 25 to 30 people turn up to make the free lunches for the kids. We've had CEOs, students, musicians, retired grandparents, and even police officers. Basically, anyone that can butter bread can be a part of it. To date, we've had over 5,000 people come through our doors, and we consistently have a 2-month waiting list for volunteering. What amazes me is that these people care enough about these kids that they've never even met to wake up early in the morning to make them lunch. And the impact that they have had is evident through the letters that we receive from the kids. I am thankful for the spare lunch you guys give, because it's better than having no food to eat and let yourself starve and then walk around asking for food from your friend. Hello, at my last school, I used to stay at home if I had no lunch. Now I come to school every day. My favourite sandwich is tuna. And Max says, "Thanks for providing nice food. It makes me learn more and think more better. Thank you very much for doing this." We're on a mission to ensure that no child in New Zealand goes to school hungry. I believe it is all of our responsibility, not just the government's, to help those that are most vulnerable in our community. We all have the choice every day to do something to make a difference, even if it is as simple as buying a lunch. Thank you.